All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is 1 o'clock, and it is time for the Town Central Site Builder class. This class is a lot of fun, and it's nice to have it taught today by the representative from our developer at the Reliance Network. I'd like to introduce you this afternoon to Mr. Nick Vellanti. Nick has been a long time partner with us on our websites. And if anybody knows the websites, it's Nick. So feel free to ask him questions and enjoy today's presentation. Nick, it's all yours, sir.
Thank you very much. All right, I'm excited to get going. And as a quick kind of get started, this is going to be a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be covering. So we're going to be talking about updating your homepage, adding and managing your navigation, adding pages, and then we're going to create some sample pages in this process. During the entire thing, we're going to be talking about some best practices for SEO, just kind of giving you tips and tricks along the way and how to manage those different areas. And in this process, as we're creating some of these sample pages and creating some content pages, we're going to set up a saved search so that we can attach it to one of our pages. So just at a high level, that is what we're going to be going through. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So with my site builder, we're going to be spending all of our time in the navigation under site builder. And here, this is where we're going to be able to pick layouts, manage home pages, manage navigation pages, things like that within the experience. So the very first thing when we're talking about your homepage, everyone has a homepage to start. So you will be able to, you don't have to pick a new layout if you don't want to. You are welcome to use the layout that you have today. But I do kind of want to talk about the different layout options, as there's a lot of different functions and features that are available across different layouts, because not every layout is treated the same. So when you go through the left-hand side of our collection list, you will see that we've created some inspiration pieces, but just because it's about waterfront doesn't mean that it has to be about a waterfront design. It could very well be condo living, single-family homes, farm and ranch, things like that. So what you can do is you can kind of take a look at our collection list, and within each collection, you have a series of layouts, and those layouts have different functions and features within them. We have taken some popular designs and created an expanded format or created formats that are enhanced. So just notice, you may notice some things like that that say enhanced or expanded or may have video. Our most recent collections, just for reference for you, would be our American Rustic and Waterfront. They have our most enhanced set of functionality if you're looking to do the most with your website in this scenario. And then some other, there are some individual layouts and other collections that we've added and expanded, and we'll continue to do that as time goes on. If you do find a website or a layout that you like, you can go ahead and preview that layout in here and see kind of what it would look like, and then you can select it if you so choose in that area and start to work on it. Just selecting a layout doesn't actually change your public-facing website. That only happens when you actually click publish. So just kind of keep that in mind along the way. So I'm not going to change my layout. I'm going to use the existing one that I have for now. So I'm going to go to Site Builder, Collection, and Site Editor. The Site Editor allows me to update and change the elements within my home page. So I'm going to keep the layout that I have. It is the Gaskell layout. So I can go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and keep this and make modifications to this existing layout. So all of our edit controls are going to be on the left-hand side. Our preview is going to be at the right. So let's go ahead and kind of walk through that experience. So under website settings, this is going to be a little bit more advanced. We do have integrations with a lot of external parties like AdWorks, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, Facebook, Business Messenger. All of those parties ask you to add some sort of snippet of code into the header, body, or the footer of your website. This section is intended for those third-party integrations. So please don't go into your website settings and third-party scripts and add, "Hi, my name is Mary Agent." That's going to cause you it's going to look weird on your site if you were to do that. But this gives you access if you wanted to have different third parties to be able to run something on your website. I would say the most popular one right now is people putting in Facebook Business Messenger on their website. You probably already have a Facebook business page, so you can incorporate that if you want in this area. The other option is if you want to turn on Google Translate, it will add a little widget to the footer, most likely to your website. Each layout's a little bit different. It's either going to be in the header or the footer, and people that speak other languages can read your website in alternate languages using Google Translate. Okay, next is going to be the home page. This is where we can make modifications and updates to our home page of our website. The very first section is SEO settings. We have pre-populated a lot of this for you, but if you want to add your content in here that speaks a little bit more to you as the expert in your local neighborhoods and markets, this is where you can update what Google reads as the title of your website and the description of your website. Those are the most important items, just to make sure that it speaks to you as the real estate professional in the area, and make sure to use phrases and terms that are relevant to what people are searching for. So, waterfront homes in Virginia Beach, for example, an expert or something to that effect. So utilizing those phrases are going to be helpful in that area. Looks like we're getting a little bit of mic feedback. Thank you. Appreciate it. Below that, OG, this is basically, think of it as social title and description. So when you share an appropriate page to Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, what do you want people to read as the title of that page? So the way I kind of look about or think about it is, things for Google, the title for Google, you are answering a question, meaning that somebody searched for homes for sale or real estate professional in location. So you are answering that question with your website. When you're sharing with social, you are presenting information. No one is technically asking for information, right? So you are sharing this page openly, and you want them to learn about you. So you have to think of you're selling yourself in the phrase for anything related to social. So that's just the kind of the mindset that I try to explain when you're thinking about content and how you want to share that online. All right. So now updating the home page. So this layout has a lot of different options that we can see on the left-hand side. So we have a hero section for mobile, and we have the text there. So we have a little quote here. You don't have to use it as a quote. We can say, start searching for your dream home. And if we want, we can say, I'm going to do Oregon because that's where I'm located, but you can go ahead and type in whatever text that you want in that area. If you want to left justify it, if you want to change font sizes or styles, you can do that. If you want to make this a link, you can do that as well. I would say you don't have to play too much with it. We've already done all the styling that looks great within here, and that is compliant. So I would just say update the text that's relevant to you in this area and how you want to portray yourself accordingly. The mobile background image. So what do you want people to see when they view your website on mobile? So you can go ahead and pick one of the images in our stock library. Your company has created a large variety of images that are very specific to your local region, to your local markets. And so you can utilize any of these images within the company's image library as well. And then lastly, you can upload your own photography in here too. So in here, you have the ability to upload an image or images. You can upload more than one. You do have to put in a description of the image. So, is it a house with a red door? Is it a field, or is it a waterfront, or are we on a beach? Go ahead and put that description in there. And then you can go ahead and categorize them. So you noticed in the company images, they have all these different categories: interior photos, waterfront scenes, things like that. You can also categorize those. During this process, we need to make sure that you have digital rights to use these photos. I can't have you taking them from Google. That's not allowed, to just take someone else's images off of Google for copyright purposes. So make sure that they belong to you or that you've purchased them, and then agree to that process, and then go ahead and save that image. All right, so that is the mobile image, and you're not going to see it in this previewer unless you preview on mobile using this little button right here at the top to preview on mobile about what image you're viewing. From there, the hero image, this is the large background image. So this is for desktop and tablet users. So what image do you want them to see when you are selecting that? Let's go ahead and grab one of your interior shots. So I'm going to select this one from your company images, and it's going to drop it in there, and that looks great. So that will go ahead and be our hero image for that section. We do have the option of doing video. So if you do have a video that you want to play in this section, you would have to, right now, you'll see that for this layout, it is hidden. So we'd have to change it to show. And then you have to put in the video URL in here. And we have some instructions on how the URL should be added in this section. But if you want to have a video background, you have the capability of doing that for this layout. Not every layout supports video. Video can be good for, keeping people on the site. Just remember, when we're automatically playing video, there's no sound allowed. Safari, Firefox, Chrome, they're going to mute your video. So just make sure that whatever video you're putting in here that's going to play in this, what we call hero section, does not need to have audio to make it relevant. So scenic shots, beach shots, aerial shots, those are great. But if you are, if you put a video up there of you talking, the browsers are going to mute you. So I would not put something like that in there. Okay, so the next section on the left-hand side is featured properties. We're automatically going to show your listings. We're going to show your listings that you co-list, or if you're a member of a team, we're going to showcase those listings as well. Inventory is crazy low right now, especially when you talk about the winter and the fact of how competitive it is. So yes, sometimes you may not have active listings to be able to showcase. So we will automatically roll up to show your office's listings. You do have the option to make some filters about what types of listings you want to show. Do you only want to show for sale properties? Do you want to include pendings? What property types do you want to include? Is there a minimum or maximum price point? What is the sort order of said properties that you want to do as well? Sometimes highest to lowest doesn't make sense because that same $11 million home is always for sale. Maybe you want to do newest to oldest or random to give you a sense or give that a little bit of rotation. So you can go ahead and choose which properties types that you want to include. So if I remove those three and click save, that will go ahead and do that. My fake agent here does not have any listings, nor does the office that they belong to have listings, so we won't see them in this test account. You'll notice that in each one of these sections down below, there is a hide show. So if we do not want to have a testimonial on our homepage, we can hide it and it will collapse on the right-hand side. So it'll immediately go from searching to our listings to our calls to action. And some of our layouts, our calls to action are a small choice. Open houses, property watch, things like that. It's a very small list. This layout's a little bit more advanced, meaning you have full flexibility to put whatever calls to action you want to put in here. So if this is going to be open houses, I can say see all open houses this weekend. Do I want this to say visit, or do I want it to say open or view? So I can go ahead and customize the button text. So you'll notice as I'm changing the text, it's updating it in the previewer. And right now I don't have a URL for open houses. So I may need to go get that URL for my interior pages to be able to add the URL in here. So for now, we can go ahead and we'll view my website. And let's see, I do not have an open houses link, but we can just steal my for sale link to see what it looks like, and we can put it in there. So you can put whatever links you want behind each one of these buttons in order for it to link out. You can change out change out each one of the call-out images as you need to in this section. I'm using a layout right now that has what we call filler text. It is Latin filler text, which means that you cannot publish your website if you have any filler text on it until that is updated or removed. So this, you will only see that Latin text if you pick a new layout, and then it will fill in the text so you can see what it looks like, but you have to update this to talk about how great of an agent you are in the area. So we have to make sure that you're updating that text before you can publish it, or you have to hide it. And then once you've updated all of the text in there, then you can go ahead and publish your website. So just as a quick recap, I've updated each one of the sections that's relevant to me. I've hidden the video since I don't have a video right now. I've hidden the testimonial because I don't have a testimonial right now. And I've updated all the text that is relevant to me. Now I can preview this in tablet and mobile if I would like. I can see my previous versions, but when I'm ready for this to be made available to the public, I will go ahead and click Publish Home. And now I've gone ahead and I've published my website, so all of my changes for my homepage are now available to the public. If I want to, I can go back and view my previously published versions. If I would like, I can make additional changes. And if I make additional changes, I have to publish them again. All right. Further down beyond the homepage, we have access to our navigation and interior pages. If I click on Edit Navigation, I get an overview of all of the pages that I have built right here under the All section, or we can filter by the different types of pages in here as well, or I can search for pages. So if I want to search for About, all of my About pages will be found here. I can check the box and click Add to Navigation, and then I can click and drag and change it. If I want to change the label, I can go ahead and do that and say this is just about me. If I want to add things to my drop-down list, I can expand that and drag it in there. So we have all these flexible items to be able to add and remove from my navigation. If we want to open any page in a new window, we can do that as well. If I want to create a new drop-down item like community, I can do that here. Say about. I will create, and then I can drag this down and I can add the about me into the about section. So very easy to add drop-down items, very easy to change orders, things like that. There are a number of pages that have been shared by Berkshire Hathaway Town Realty for you to be able to use. So if we change this drop-down right here in our navigation from Mary Agent's pages or your name and your pages to the company pages, we can see all the pages that have been shared with you. So if you want to use an open house sign-up form, pricing insights, right move, selling process, if we want to add any of these pages that have been created and curated by Town Realty, we can do that. So the selling process, I'll move it into the about area. So I have very easy ways to be able to add, edit, or add and change pages through my navigation. So if I'm good with all my changes, I can publish my navigation and it will update and add those changes that we made. The navigation does not have previously published versions. If you made a mistake or you want to make more changes, you just have to go in and make those changes and publish again. If you made changes and you decide, you know what, so I'll remove that page. You know what, if I didn't want to remove that page, I can just cancel my changes right here with the X at the top right, and I don't have to save those changes. Okay, moving on beyond the home page, we have all those interior pages. So I can go ahead and click on Edit Interior Pages. So on our left-hand side from our site editor, I have the Edit Interior Pages. That's one way to get there. The other way to get there is you can go to Site Builder, Collections and Interior Pages. Basically, two different ways to get to the same page. We're just trying to make it easy to find the appropriate pages that you're interested in. Okay, so I'm going to go through a quick walkthrough of the different page types that we have, because you can add all different types of pages. If you need to add an exterior link to your website navigation, you would have to add a link page first. So this would be something like you want to have a link in your navigation for all the schools in the area or all the school districts in the area, or something to that, or a restaurant or something you wanted to have it that goes to a third-party website or an external website that is found in your navigation. You would put a title and then you'd put the URL. So if we did Google and then I want it to go to Google.com, I can go ahead and do that into Google and it would go to Google.com. So that is a link page. Feature property pages, if you wanted to have a direct page, and most of you probably already have one on your site, but if you wanted to have a direct page to your feature properties, or if you want to have multiple feature property pages. So I have some agents that are a member of a team, or maybe they have, 10 lots and 3 condos. And so they'll have a feature property pages about their lots versus a feature properties page about their condos. You have different layouts that you can choose from to create a feature properties page. Similarly to feature properties, we have resume. These are your sold listings. So some people want to have sold listings or sold resume for condos versus single family homes versus lots and land, you can go ahead and create as many of these as you would like. All right, a content page. So this is just if you want to have content about buying, selling, relocating. You have text, images, maybe a video that you want to incorporate. We have a ton of different layouts that you can choose from. You don't need to know any HTML to build any of these pages out. And we have pre-designed these layouts to incorporate video or images or just text. If you need a little bit more advanced control, we do have what's called blank, and you have full access to be able to build your own page as you would like. But I highly recommend you taking a look at the pages that we built, because there's a lot of options in there and you don't have to know any HTML or do any styling to make sure that it looks great, it's mobile responsive, and you're taking all the best practices along the way. Profile page. So you probably have a profile page of each type. If you don't, you can take advantage of it. Feature properties pages. So anything that's a profile page is linked from the company website roster. So when you go to the company website, Town Realty or bhstownrealty.com, and you go to the agent roster, the links off of your little business card there to your feature properties, to your contact me, to your about the bio are all powered from the profile page. So while you can create other feature properties, the one that is linked off of the roster is going to be built from profile page. And so you can create one there. A bio page. This is a great way to kind of have a one-stop shop to who you are, social media, link to your website, all your active and pending properties and sales, a little bit about you, all on one page. You have a few different layouts to choose from in this area. And then a contact page. You probably already have one, but if you accidentally delete it or need to recreate it, you have a contact page here. All right, before we get into lead forms and system pages, I'm going to hit on the last others, and then we're actually going to create a couple pages. So system page, these are ones that are, there's no changes that you're going to make to them, but if you needed to recreate a home search or open house page or a market watch page or a client dashboard, these are system pages that will automatically create the URL and add them to your site. You most likely have many of these already added, but you can go ahead and add those system pages. And then the last one is only relevant if you're a team, but it's a roster, the ability to list all of the agents among your team. Okay, so let's take let's take some time to actually build out a new page. So we can go ahead and we're going to build a SEO page. An SEO page allows you to create content about an area or a lifestyle with an attached set of property results that automatically are updating based upon the MLS. So if I wanted to do Williamsburg, I can go ahead and put this in and select the layout and go ahead and click create. And it will go ahead and create my page in here, but you'll notice I have no content in there yet, so we'll have to do that. And I need to go create a saved search because I don't have that page created. So to create a saved search, you can go ahead and click on create new saved search from this page. So I'm typing in Williamsburg. I'm going to click go. It's going to take me to the property results. And I can add additional criteria. So this is just the city, but if I want only single family homes, maybe I only want for sale. Maybe I want to have a price point. Maybe I want a certain size. I can go ahead and select different filters that are relevant to me. Maybe I only want waterfront properties in Williamsburg, so I can do additional filters, and now I'm down to 9 properties. So you have a lot of different options here. If you really want to go advanced, we do have an advanced search that allows you to go very specific to the geographical region of each individual MLS in order to create that safe search. This gets into accessibility, interior features, exterior features, heating and cooling. But for now, I'm going to go back and just do my city, because I was doing an advanced search, it was cleared some of my criteria out. So for now, I'm going to stick with city. Again, I'm only interested in homes for sale, and I only want for sale properties. So we'll keep my criteria pretty basic right now, and I will save this search. Because I'm building an SEO page, I'm going to save it for my website, not for a client. And then I can go ahead and call this Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm not going to replace an existing saved search. I'm creating a new one, so I will submit. I'm going to stay on this current page because what I need to do is go back to my interior pages. So I've created the saved search. I now need to go back to my interior pages to attach that saved search to my page. So there's the page I built. I will click on Edit Page. And now I need to start building the page now that I have my saved search. So I'm going to say Williamsburg, Virginia homes for sale. These are all of the homes for sale in Williamsburg, Virginia. So I put in some text in here. This is a little light. I would definitely recommend one going a little bit more what I would like to call hyper-local than a city. So maybe doing something like Williamsburg waterfront homes for sale, or if there are local neighborhoods or communities to go a little bit more hyper-local, you will have a very good success rate at ranking. Not saying that you can't rank on city pages, they're just a lot more competitive and it can take more time to do that. So definitely take some time to think about those hyperlocal kind of where everyone wants to move types pages. This layout has an image, so I do need to select an image. So I'm gonna do with, let's try and find one. I have no idea if that's a Williamsburg style home, but I'll go with it for now. And then I will select the saved search that I created, and you will see this will automatically pull in the properties. And remember, after any changes that you do, when you're ready for it to be visible by the public, you would click Publish Page. Okay, so a couple of tips and tricks to kind of think about for SEO. Make sure that you're using the phrase that you expect people to search for, meaning that do you expect people to search for Williamsburg homes for sale, or do you expect them to search for Williamsburg, VA, or Virginia? What is the phrase that you're expecting them to search for? Just make sure to use that phrase while you're using or when you're putting in your content. And you can change it around a little bit on how you're using it. This right here is kind of the header of the page. It's the most important set of content that is visible on the page. So that is the header that is important for how you're using it. In the page settings is where you will find the title, the description for Google. So again, Williamsburg homes for sale, Mary Agent, Aegis Town Realty. So there are different ways that you can phrase that, but utilizing your name, utilizing the keywords or kind of the phrase that you're trying to rank for is important. Talk a little bit about the description of it as well. These are making sure that you have this information populated and making sure it's relevant to the phrase that you're trying to rank for is how you will win in SEO. The fact that the properties are going to be refreshing, every single day, depending upon, how open that search is, but it's going to be updating as the LMLS updates. As properties have price changes, have status changes, come on and off the market, this page is automatically going to be updating. That's going to be visible to Google that there's refresh and changing content, but it doesn't change the fact that Google still needs to know what is the important phrase that this page answers. So again, you're trying to answer a question from what people are searching in Google. So keep that in mind. I think I saw a question and I want to make sure. So yeah, just to make sure from Monica's question, she said, does this save search automatically update? And the answer is yes. Okay. Actually, I don't think I published the page. Let's go do that real quick. So I'm going to, publish page. There we go. Okay. So I published the page. There's a little link here to get me back to the interior page list. So I click that. And if I want to, I have this settings option on the left-hand side. I can go in here and update settings for Google and for social without editing the page if I want to. All right, the last one I wanted to hit on was lead pages. And I'm actually running out of time, but the process works the same way. We have a number of squeeze pages that you can create and you can build out. When you utilize one of these pages, they will automatically pull into your CRM. And then you can also pick a destination page. So if you have a page about open houses and they fill out the form about open houses, you can have them go to the list of all the open houses in the area. So you can go ahead and build that out. Let's showcase one of the lead pages that we have. We have a free buyer book right here. And you'll see that we can edit the content of the form on the left-hand side and preview it on the right-hand side. So if you want to make changes, and remember, you have the preview, you have to publish after your changes, and you can keep the previously published versions. All right, that was a lot of content to go over, but we are at the 30 minutes. I only saw the one question, but I'll open it up to see if there are any other questions from the group here.
So if you have questions, just go ahead and unmute, and you've got Nick as a captive audience. Hit him with all of your great questions. He is the one that built this thing, so he knows it better than even we do. All right, seeing that there are no questions, Nick, thank you so much for the session. Oh, there we go. Craig, you have a question. Go for it, Craig. You need to unmute.
Good.
Okay. Is there a manual or a go-by that a person can use? Because that was a lot of information that could kind of help us if we were going to do it on our own.
Yeah, so in the top right-hand corner, there's a training materials section, and we have a ton of documentation and videos that can break down different sections. So if you're just looking on interior pages or just SEO pages or just home pages, oops, looks like someone's showing their screen. Craig, that may be you. Oh, let me go ahead and show my screen again. So in the top right-hand corner, there's the training materials section right here. And this is where you can see all the documentation and videos to break down each individual section. So yeah, you would be able to go through individual sections in different sections. So like I had talked a lot about at the beginning, Facebook Business Messenger, like as a chat widget on your website. We have a document and video specific to just that feature. So you can go ahead and break these down into bite-sized chunks.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And again, that's found right here under training materials. Any other questions?
Nick, there's another question in the chat. How do you add reviews?
How do you add reviews? So I believe right now Town is utilizing reviews through another party.
Actually, what we do is we do have a, Nick, we're using the blank page. And we are adding the reviews on behalf of our agents when they're received from our surveys. So once we have the approval of the buyer and or seller, when they send in their surveys, we will then add those automatically to your website for you without you having to do anything. If you want to add your own reviews, we can, and you do not currently have a reviews or a testimonials page, we'll be happy to guide you through that. Just reach out to web support at bhhstown.com and the team will help you with it.
Thank you, Ralston.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions?
All right. I see none, Nick.